Blessed Brunch. It's your boy Arthur Hamilton. I'm back with my special guest, the Courtney Banks, y'all.
Hello.
Damn. You just took your
that's for me.
Time for the Courtney Banks.
I love a forced applause. I
love you know
that.
what I'm saying? And we got my other guest. He ain't that special because you know what I'm saying? Y'all see him all the time and shit, my story. He gonna have his own episode. My nigga Darren don't give a fuck David.
Clap, bitches!
Hey.
Fuck that nigga! Haters gonna hate.
Appropriate response.
That nigga was late. This nigga was late as a fuck.
My friend she's like pretty progressive.
Hey, what's up, guys?
No, nigga, this is on both y'all, nigga.
Oh, they're
this
so
on both of y'all.
cute.
Man, hurry the fuck up, man.
You guys are both so
What's wrong with you, man?
adorable.
And we're back. You just saw a commercial for Arthur Hamilton's show, Blunts and Brunch. It is so much fun to watch every time. It's like a party in an episode, so you got to check it out. All right, so we're back. We have done the bronze and the silver, and we are up to the gold medal topics, that means we think these are the biggest sports stories of the week. So, Russell, start us off. What's your biggest sports story of the week? What's your gold medal podium topic?
My gold medal podium is Jimmy Garoppolo. And not just Jimmy Garoppolo, but the teams that had the opportunity to grab Jimmy Garoppolo. I have to watch him tear it up the San Francisco 49ers. Good for the Niners to have identified Jimmy Garoppolo as their guy they want to go forward and making that trade, pulling the trigger, and grabbing him. And he looks like a guy who's going to get paid this offseason. He's making unbelievable throws. He's having 300-yard games. And I want people to realize they're 4-0 or 5-0 with Jimmy Garoppolo quarterback. And the San Francisco, I don't want people to misconstrue this. The San Francisco 49ers are awful at football. Like
no talent.
Yet, as we often hear about good football players and good quarterbacks, they raise the level of their teammates around them. And
Tom Brady like.
So power, shout out to the 49ers and John Lynch in his first year for what he's doing with Jimmy Garoppolo, and good for Kyle Shanahan. And have a quarterback that he can build around for the future. But I just want to go through a couple of teams that could have had a chance to get Jimmy Garoppolo. But for my exclusions, I'm going to exclude the teams that have drafted a quarterback in the last 1 or 2 years. So teams like the Bears, the Rams, who all drafted young quarterbacks in the last year or two, they're excluded from this. And then teams like the Packers, of course, with Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Derek Carr, all those guys. But there are 10 teams that really, really could have had a shot at Jimmy Garoppolo, but missed their opportunity. Those teams being Jacksonville, Cincinnati, the Broncos, Buffalo, the Miami Dolphins, Arizona. They drafted a young quarterback, but when you see Deshaun Kaiser, you know why.
They always are the exception to the rule.
And then the New York Giants. The one team on that stands out to me on this list, like we talked about earlier, the Jacksonville Jaguars. If they had Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback, they'd be some sleeper Super Bowl contender. Because every time we talk about the Jaguars and what they can and can't do, it's always revolved around and his inability to play. Now, I'll give him some credit. He's been playing well lately, hasn't been turning the ball nearly as much, been making some big throws. At the same time, portals to lead the Jaguars to playoff victories. I trust that their defense is going to hold teams under 20 points, and they're going to win games that way. And then get from Bortles is gravy. But if they were able somehow to swing a deal for Jimmy Garoppolo, that team would be light years ahead. They're a solid team right now. They have a great running back with Leonard Fournette. They have really good special teams. They have good defense with a defense led by Malik Jackson and Jalen Ramsey. That's a solid team with a just trash quarterback. So they could have – just think of what that team could have been at the helm with Leonard Fournette, and that hard-hitting defense. That'd be a team that I roll with that team.
Yeah.
I can give you two teams I might prefer even more than the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's a great choice. The first one, and this might be controversial, the Minnesota Vikings. Could you imagine if Case Keenum was replaced by Jimmy Garoppolo? That's the scariest team in the NFC. And I don't think people realize that because they have a lot of wins, but I think it's kind of a false season.
Yeah, they're not going to the Super Bowl.
If they had Jimmy Garoppolo, they would be the Super Bowl favorites in the NFC.
Exactly.
Another one I'd like to give you, just because I feel so bad for this man, Larry Fitzgerald and the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Could you imagine those two together? Because Jimmy Garoppolo needs a receiver in the end. He's throwing to 5'8" Trent Taylor, who looks like I do.
I can't even name any of the 49ers.
He looks like me, dude. He's like a 5'8" white guy. And he's like running around.
Goodwin, that's the only one I know.
Wow. Yeah, it's just he's doing this with nothing, a la Tom Brady, who he learned from. It's very reminiscent of those Deion Branch days. He's making Deion Branch like a $50 million receiver.
Yeah.
And so, I would love to see him with Larry Fitzgerald and Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And you have a great defense with Patrick Peterson, and so I think, and you have a good coach there. I think that would be one of my great choices. And of course, the Miami Dolphins, Jay Cutler versus Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, the difference is night and day.
Yeah.
You know, but what do you think?
I mean, I slept on Jimmy G. I mean, I said in the past that I didn't see him as like an elite quarterback, but I think he's on the way there now. I got to take it back. You know, I apologize to him. He
hit the ground running a lot quicker than I thought as well.
Yeah, I mean, to put it 44 up on that Jaguars defense, that was very impressive. With an offense
with a butter knife.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like I feel like the Jaguars had every reason. Like, I mean, those guys, that's a great defense with speed and athleticism, and Jimmy tore them up. And it's not, he hasn't been playing for the 49ers the whole entire season as well. So
he's just learning their playbook.
It's amazing to me what he's been able to do, like you said, with the butter knife. And I mean, he's on track to really get paid this offseason, man. And I'm excited to see who brings the bag out for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, well, the 49ers at this point, the only way they're going to sell season tickets is if they have Jimmy Garoppolo. They have to give him, like, pretty much, like, the equivalent of the max. Like, they're going to have to give him the Derek Carr contract.
He's going to have to make over 20.
It's going to be the Derek Carr contract and maybe more. You know, he might be the top-paid quarterback next year, and he only played, like, 5 or 6 games.
Yeah. Jimmy, watch your condoms, bro.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo is not the level where coals will be poked in his condoms. Watch your condoms, Jimmy. That's all I'm saying. Get you a condom guy. In fact, I ain't got no job right now. I'll watch your condoms. I will be your condom guy, Jimmy Garoppolo. I will make sure they are whole free.
I ain't got no job.
I ain't got no real job, bro. Postmates killing a nigga. I will be your condom guy.
Oh my god.
I'll do it 15 an hour.
Oh, your parents are so proud of you right now.
Hey, I ain't got no degree.
Yeah.
No degree, condom guy. That's just
He don't have a degree. That's all he can do.
If you drop out of Oral Roberts, you'll be looking after condoms for Jimmy Garoppolo.
sounds like a winning thing to me, man. It's a lot better than sitting behind a desk.
Yeah.
Being Jimmy Garoppolo's condom guy.
And
Yeah.
school kids. That's all.
Don't end up like our co-host Niles Abston. Yeah, because notice how Russell and I, we have degrees. We were like, that sounds idiotic.
Yeah, man. I got a degree in my field. I'm good. You tell me how Jimmy G.
I'm just trying to make it, man. I'm just trying to make it.
Weirdest security guard ever. All right. So I think that about wraps it up for the gold medal topic, right, guys? Wraps it up. See what I did there? I'm hilarious. You can tell I'm a professional comedian.
Wait, you did your goal? You did Eli Apple.
No, I'm saying wraps it up for his.
Oh, okay. That's what I said. Yeah, you didn't do yours.
Yeah. So, Niles, do you want to go on to your gold medal podium topic this week?
Yeah. The college football playoffs coming up, man. It's the New Year's Eve tradition. They've been the ratings were down last year on the New Year's Eve. I don't know if it's the greatest night for a semifinal game, but here we are again with two huge matchups. What you say?
I said it's definitely not the greatest night for
No.
you know,
I don't really feel like watching football on New Year's Eve.
that you want people to watch.
Not even gonna lie, I'm trying to party. But we got two, huge matchups, with Alabama. Clemson is a crazy one because, I feel like this game can really solidify, like, who kind of owns this decade, who kind of owns these last couple years as, college football powers. And then also with a newcomer like Georgia, who hasn't been in a large, bowl game like this in years, playing in the college football playoff. And then OU, a school who has oftentimes been at the top and had chances to prove that the Big 12 can play with the rest of them, and sometimes they fell from grace and haven't shown that they can play that championship level football. But here they are. So and you got a Heisman Trophy winner in this bunch. You got two, and like I said, you got two teams that have been here multiple times. So I think this one is going to be very exciting. I want to hear what you guys think, kind of just on the matchups and the picks. You got Georgia, which is probably one of the best rushing teams in the country. They have three running backs. They have 2 to 3 running backs after Nick Chubb that can get the job done as well. And so they're a run first team where you have OU with Heisman Trophy winner Baker Mayfield, who's throwing for 300 yards a game. It's some of these two teams. The way they run their offenses are very just different. And then with Alabama and Clemson, it's they're almost so familiar with each other because they've been here yet again. So, and I think Clemson has a lot to prove with them being the number 1 seed this year, and Alabama also has a lot to prove because a lot of people don't think their spot is legitimate. So, who do you think wins these games? Who meets up in the championship?
For me, I think the one game that I think is a lock is Oklahoma over Georgia.
Okay, I was thinking the same.
The reason why is you have a freshman quarterback going up against the Heisman Trophy winner, and I don't care how many stable running backs you got behind you. In these bowl games, experience usually dictates victories.
Yeah.
That's why, and so I am going to take Oklahoma there. And also, did you see Nick Chubb? He was scared of riding a roller coaster. It was so embarrassing.
What?
He was on this roller coaster. It was the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. So it's not even a roller coaster. It's one of those visual things. And he's sitting there hey
nigga, that's a scary ride. I rode on that at Disney World a couple months ago. It's kind of scary. I can't even lie.
Go watch Condoms for Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay,
I'm not gonna let you play my boy Nick Chubb, man.
No, it's you can't. I don't trust anyone who can't handle.
Because the way you just did, that's how guys look when he's running towards them with the ball. So you can't play Nick Chubb just because you don't like a roller coaster.
My mom can handle a roller coaster.
Your mom can't rush for 200 yards in SEC football. I love Deb to death, but she can't do it. Right? But yeah, I agree. I say OU over Georgia just because Baker Mayfield is that good. I think he's the best player in this playoffs.
And I think Alabama versus Clemson, I think it's a great contrast of you have Clemson, who's put out more offensive talent to the NFL than pretty much any team, and then Alabama's put more defensive talent to the NFL than pretty much any college.
Yeah.
So I think it's a real fun contrast of styles. Usually you always take defense, and kind of like the Patriots, Alabama historically gets calls.
Yeah.
And Clemson does not as much. Yeah. And so in a tight game, I'm expecting Nick Saban to get some calls. Yeah. And so I like Alabama in the end, but Dabo Swinney, as much as I hate him, I hate both of these coaches.
Yeah, these are the two biggest masses in the NCAA.
To be honest, I'm rooting for a plane crash between both the planes. But if you're going to actually ask me what's going to happen between the two teams, I really think Nick Saban is more evil than Dabo Swinney, and if you're talking, I think
don't like either one of them.
I take especially in the year of Trump, take the most evil person in these playoffs, and that's Nick Saban. He's your Trump of the year. So that's that. I think in the end, I'm gonna give it to Alabama.
So you see Bama OU in the championship?
Yeah, and I love the one X factor, and I'll let Russell speak, but the one X factor is Lincoln Riley, the coach of the OU. He might be the one person who's smarter than the rest of them, and that's the one thing I don't know going into this. To me, he seems like the smartest guy in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
I would love to see a matchup of old school greatest coach versus what I think is going to be the new school greatest coach.
Okay.
But what do you think, Russell? Sorry for talking so much.
Well, you guys are crazy. That's number one. Number two, I think in the Clemson Alabama game, I just think we're going to all see why Alabama was on the borderline of getting. I just think they don't have that it factor. They don't have that je ne sais quoi that they usually have every year, where we're like, Alabama's the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Like this year, I think we all know that Alabama isn't that Alabama quality of team that they always have. They still have the talent. They just don't have that. For that reason, I'm taking Clemson in the game. And then the Georgia-Oklahoma game is probably going to be the better game of the two, to me. For the simple fact that those are two teams that both could win that game. I think even with a freshman quarterback, I think Georgia can win that game if they run the football from possession and don't turn the ball over. Because Oklahoma, they're a team that if you give them the ball, they're going to score. And they're going to do it pretty quick. Yeah. And they're going to, if they control time, you're going to lose. And they're going to put up 35, 45 points on you. So if you control the clock, if you keep the ball and you don't turn the ball over, I think you have a really good chance of winning with Georgia. So I'm going to take Georgia and Clemson in the national championship with Clemson coming out on top.
Okay.
My one issue with Georgia is I'm not comparing from the freshman quarterback to Blake Bortles, but I do see some similarities with Georgia and Jacksonville Jaguars. An amazing defense, an incredible run game, and a quarterback who's supposed to get out of the way. And what I fear is that Baker Mayfield, a la Jimmy Garoppolo, is going to just simply outscore Georgia, and it's simply just put up too many points that Georgia could not compete with. And that's what scares me with the Oklahoma-Georgia game is I don't think that Georgia has the firepower unless they're getting well over 200 yards rushing. I don't see them having the firepower to compete with Oklahoma unless the defense really brings the game down to the 20s, which would surprise me. But if Oklahoma breaches 30, I feel like Georgia can't get past that. And then I feel like it's the same conversation if Georgia goes against Clemson. And I just see in the long term, they're the ones with the least likely chance to win the whole thing for me because I just don't see their offense being as explosive. I trust their quarterback the least out of the four.
That's good.
But does that wrap it up for our gold medal?
Yeah.
All right.
New Year's Eve is gonna be lit.
My gold medal. Yeah, my gold medal podium topic. I'm really excited about this one. He is my favorite rapper only because I bartended for him once and I got $120 out of that night and then I bought weed with it. But P. Diddy is trying to become an NFL owner and I'm all for it. I'm a huge P. Diddy fan. Couldn't name a song of his, but I'm a big
P. Diddy fans can't name a song of his.
That's so mean.
Right.
That's so mean.
Love you, Diddy, but nah.
But yeah, I think he's amazing. I'm a big fan of Ciroc.
As am I.
I would really.
Same.
I would really love for him to be an owner. Jerry Richardson just went through this horrible, sexual assault accusation that's proven to be true. And it's just, he's the first NFL owner that's really been subject to these Me Too allegations that I think are really good for the progress of this country. And, Jerry Richardson, he looks like the exact type of dude who would be involved in that stuff.
He said some racist stuff too, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, very much. And he was the one who told Cam, don't get tattoos. And he was very controlling of Cam. Yeah, definitely considered like one of those Bob McNair types,
okay.
that a good old boy network kind of a guy.
Right.
But I think P. Diddy is just the kind of owner they need. An actual minority owner, not a minority who's a minority owner, but an actual owner who's a minority. They need that. All they have is Shad Khan, and he looks like Super Mario. And he's just like he hasn't really had a connection to the United States. He's not an American minority. We need someone who is from this country and is a minority to bring that diversity into the NFL owners' meetings. Yeah. And I would love for P. Diddy to do it. And we talked about this on Secret Black People meeting. Mm-hmm. He is almost a billionaire. People forget that.
He's worth over $800 million.
And although that's not enough for an NFL team, that is enough to have a majority stake where you have a bunch of other people contribute 49%. He's the 51%, and then he's the majority stakeholder, and then he could own the Carolina Panthers. Yeah. Or Michael Jordan, also an owner currently, he could upgrade from the Bobcats to the Panthers. Yeah. And I think P. Diddy is more likely because he's already been having talks. He's had a couple pictures with him conversing with the NFL owners. But I think the NFL desperately needs a minority owner like a P. Diddy or a Michael Jordan. Yeah. What do you guys say?
Yeah, I think Diddy, what Diddy's trying to do is cool. It's just, I don't know, is it a pipe dream? Because we're depending on these owners who have kept Kaepernick out of the league and done all these other egregious, stupid things to vote in P. Diddy. This black dude who used to be a rapper, he's a businessman, all his money. I don't see it happening. And they were saying where Jerry Richardson's stake is about $1.2 billion. So he's putting together like an ownership team right now, composed of players around the league, different athletes, and different investors. I know Steph Curry wants to get in on it. Colin Kaepernick wants to get in on it. I just don't see an ownership group with Colin Kaepernick as one of the headlining investors being voted in after they spent a whole season keeping him out of a job.
He couldn't even get a backup quarterback job, and they're like, oh, we'll let you own a team, though.
Yeah, like that. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I don't know. As a black person, I guess I've just become so cynical with the NFL when it comes to social things like this. So I don't know. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see it. Also, it's just like, think of the support from the black community that the Panthers would get. You know how we are about, when we finally get our lane or avenue into something, we come out and support. So I see this as a lot of black people's is going to be like their second NFL team. I can see the jersey sales doing well and the team really being embraced, especially with like the internet now. Black celebrity that's owning an NFL team.
Colin Kaepernick would be a great backup to Cam Newton, by the way.
And that would be amazing. Yeah, and he owns the team as the backup quarterback. That's just crazy, but it's possible. So I don't know. We'll see.
You make a good point really quick before we go to Russell. The Jerry Richardson, the owner right now, he only owns 51% of the Panthers currently. Mm-hmm. So you only have to buy that 51% stake. Mm-hmm. You don't have to buy the whole 100%, which would be it's a significant difference.
Probably
to literally double. Yeah. So Russell, go ahead now.
I think Niles actually said my point exactly. I think having a minority owner in the NFL is great. Apparently, according to media sources, that's something they've wanted for a while.
Yeah, okay.
A while.
But at the same time, I don't know if Diddy is the one. I don't know if Diddy is the one that is going to get that done. I don't know if they're going to let that happen. I think most things there's a vote that needs to take place. But at the same time, if I'm bidding for if I'm one of the bidders, if they decide to take my bid, that then I win it. But otherwise, they can look and say, "Hey, we just don't feel that you're the one we want to go with," or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know about all that whole process how that works. But at the same time, I feel like if it was somebody like Oprah, Oprah wanted to buy 51% of the Panthers, I feel like but I just have a hard time.
It'd be a riot in the streets if they denied Oprah.
All these by the Panthers,
and I'd lead it.
I just have really time believing that, but who knows? I always have a problem with it's like the whole time and does something awful, and then you get to pay him $1 billion to go away. Like, that sounds like something pretty great. I get to mess up and get paid $1 billion.
Wow,
Like,
that's
what's
a
up?
great
You know what I'm
point.
saying?
That's
So,
a
like,
great point.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
It's a weird situation.
Here's $1 billion. Like, what? But I don't know, man. It's just I almost don't even want Diddy to try to own the team because I just feel like it's building up this whole like big dream and everybody's really excited just for it to get voted against. And I've already had one bad vote this past year, so don't really want to get my hopes up for another one.
Well, the issue with the issue with that is he's only got $800 million, and I know that sounds like a lot,
Right.
But when you talk about NFL and NBA owners, they don't really look at you as a person. They look at you more as a number.
Right.
So P. Diddy, him being
It's not
black
even-
is
and
not
and not even a billion.
his being black, although it's an issue. The biggest issue, he's not a billionaire.
Yeah.
And you have to have liquid assets after you purchase the team to start doing stuff with it. And so they might actually have decent business reasons for denying him. But you guys mentioned it, like Oprah or Michael Jordan, they probably have similar assets, maybe more, and they seem much more stable.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they are, but to white people, I'm sure they seem much more friendly. Oh, Michael Jordan, Oprah, they're more comfortable and digestible than P. Diddy would be.
Yeah.
I think P. Diddy is a bridge too far for white owners.
Yeah.
I really do think that because he's got like a nickname, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think he'd have to call himself Sean Combs first for that to happen.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I really.
I love P. Diddy, man. Like I want it to happen.
But you know, if going into that room, they would all rather pick Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan speaks their language more so.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of that's the unfortunate part is P. Diddy is it's a different level with that.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately it is kind of a pipe dream. But the fact that we're having this discussion is amazing progress because it would have been laughed at a long time ago.
And the thing always to remember when things like this happen is like, there's never been a black owner. Yeah, there's a reason why there's never been a black owner.
Yeah.
And so it's just like you have to like always remember like just because a black person kind of can almost do this or wants to do it, it's probably not going to happen because there's a reason why there's never been one. And those reasons are still at hand. They've created a system where they pick what goes on, they pick the rules, they pick who's the commissioner, and so it's just. I just feel like there's too much against them. Throw the money to Lavar. Let's make the JBA big. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
Do you have any final thoughts, Russell?
No, I mean, my last thing before we even move on from it, I think you're right, Aaron. At the end of the day, cool, but he might just not, from a business standpoint, he might not have the best bid. You know, and that might, you know, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, they didn't pick Diddy because he's black and he wanted the team, but at the end of the day, sometimes it is economic, and he just didn't have the best bid. So, I feel like there's more things him getting the team as opposed to him actually winning the bid.
Yeah, it's a lot against him.
And it's a shame because, you know, you look at other owners like George Steinbrenner famously, he paid $10 million to the Yankees and he didn't even pay for it. It was a loan on a bank, right? So, like, George Steinbrenner can easily get into the game because he is a part of the old White Boys Network. But if a black person is going to get into this game, their credit has to be perfect. They probably have to have double the amount that we considered you want it. Yeah. You have to be the perfect candidate. You have to be the Barack Obama candidate.
That's
you
right
have to be a perfect. Yeah. You have to be rock solid. And P. Diddy's more.
And that's the thing. To be the perfect black candidate, that means you're not really black because Obama's not really a black dude. So that's the perfect black candidate. Somebody that's kind of black. So
well, maybe before we go off, could you see Obama owning a team?
Yeah, if he had the money, that's the kind of guy they're looking for.
Yeah,
that speaks their language. So
that was good. That was really good. All right, I think that wraps up the gold medal topics. Right after we do the gold, we do our winner's circle and our podium of shame. and the winner's circle is the best people of the week in sports, and the podium of shame is the worst person of the week in sports. So, Niles, start us off. Who's on your winner's circle this week?
Winner's circle, my New Orleans Saints, man. Clinched the division. Feeling good. Of course, they do it the year I'm protesting, watching the NFL and giving into the ratings. But hey, I see the highlights on YouTube. I see y'all doing your thing. Great job. As a Saints fan, this is exciting. We got a shot at the Super Bowl. NFC is wide open. Unfortunately, Carson Wentz went down, but I think that was one of the biggest components of the NFC being wide open. But yeah, so we got a shot at the Super Bowl. We're gonna host a playoff game in the Dome. We don't usually lose there. So let's see what happens. Winner's circle. Good job, Sean Payton, Drew Brees, Alvin, Mark.
Well, they've been doing really good this year because you haven't watched. So do not curse them and become a fan again.
I'm not watching, man.
Okay, that's good. If you like your team, you'll know that you're cursing them.
All right.
That's what I learned this year. My winner's circle, Wofford beat UNC. They upset them, and that's really got to hurt UNC because these kids go to class and they're better at beating students and athletes than you. That's got to be painful.
That's great.
They beat you on both sides of the court. And by the way, this is the third smallest school in the whole group. And it's definitely the smallest school in North Carolina.
You know those kids are going to class.
Yeah, and so that, I just got to give it up for those kids. And number 3 on that team, I forget his name. He is an NBA player, the best shooting stroke I've seen since Steph Curry.
Wow.
When he is guarded, he the way he shoots it, when he is under pressure and being guarded, he shoots better than when he's open. And it's perfect for the NBA. He's got a quick release, and he can be guarded by someone way taller than him and just drain a shot. I love that kid, number 3. Not enough to remember his name, but he is going to play in the NBA. I guarantee it.
Okay, cool. Shout out to Wofford. That's what's up.
You got your winner's circle this week, Russell?
My winner's circle recipient, the Bears tight end Zach Miller, 3 months ago, playing in New Orleans against the Saints, he had that horrific knee injury where his knee basically decided to just cave in and had that really bad. People thought he was going to lose his leg that day.
Yeah.
And 3 months later, here he is. And so it's cool to see him getting after that rehab. He has to have one more surgery to move scar tissue, but after that, he start that recovery back to getting back to full strength. So good for Zach Miller. He was at the Bears game on Sunday. And was able to crutch out there in the snow, which is dangerous, but good for him to be back out there.
Yeah, that's good. I thought he was gonna lose his leg, so good for him, man.
Yeah, that's a very incredible comeback story. So if we organize these gold, silver, and bronze, who's the winner of the winner's circle?
Shit, Zach Miller the winner. That nigga got a leg back. That's
Low-key Zach Miller, man.
right. That dude got his leg back, man. He was about to be like Lieutenant Dan.
Zach Miller, Wofford.
Yeah, Zach Miller, Wofford, and then the Saints. Yeah, I like that. All right, now the podium of shame, the worst people in sports this week. Russell, can you start us off?
I will definitely start us off. So my podium recipient this week is a coach I really like, but it really bothered me that he did this. Ron Rivera, the coach of the Carolina Panthers, after their victory this past week, he was going through his post-game speech. We were talking about, hey, everything's team first. We're all about team. And then right before he breaks the speech, he says, all right, guys, Mr. Richardson on 3. 1, 2, 3. And the whole and says, Mr. Richardson, I have a problem with this for so many reasons. First of all,
oh my God.
As a minority, his owner, Jerry Richardson, has been accused of saying racial slurs to a scout on the team. He himself was one of the minority head coaches in the NFL, in a room full of minority athletes who I also have a problem with. Nobody wants to say, no, I'm not. because this dude we play for as a church has proven himself to be this. That's why he's selling the team, because they know what kind of dirt this dude has on him. Second of all, when asked about Jerry Richardson, his response was, well, he's always been good to me. I'm sorry, Robert. Only that matters, and that's to be concerned about. I apologize. What was I thinking? No, like it's a complete lack of understanding and care for anything that happened, which it's really sad. It's really sad to see, because there's so many other people who think the same way Ron Rivera does. Right. And I think if you broke it down to him like this, he'd say a lot. But that's the way it comes off Ron Rivera. You had multiple staffers on the Panthers be groped by your old, giving back massages to these young man. If you don't get your, I wish Jerry Richardson his hand on my aunt or mom or daughter, wife, or whatever. I would throw instant hands. Like it's crazy thing to do. Like thought was okay, and these dudes, as we see at least twice, 3-4 times a week, think they can get away with it. And so just the fact that Ron Rivera thought it was okay after that got a win and wanted to say, all right guys, Mr. Richardson on 3, 1, 2, 3, Mr. Richardson, and it just really bothered me on so many levels. I want to say the whole Panthers team for agreeing with their head coach by talking about Mr. Richardson on 3. Like,
nah.
It's a bad situation all the way around. So, Ron Rivera is my Podium of Shame recipient for this week.
That is literally like the NFL version of, hey, Macedon been good to me now. That's literally what Ron Rivera is saying. Like, Mr. Massa on 3. Like that, and they all did it. God. Ugh.
Well, I think we can. I think in response to that, we can all agree. All right, Harvey Weinstein on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Literally.
Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
No one's doing that.
Right.
No one.
Right. It's the exact same thing.
Dang. Well, Harvey was good to me. Anyways. Whereas,
Right, like Harvey was good to me.
yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, and I think that was really well said, Russell. I love it. Niles, your Podium of Shame this week.
Man,
you gotta bring the heat like Russell.
It was really hard. I had 2, but I'm gonna trust my gut. I'm gonna go with this one. Earl Thomas, man. Earl Thomas, the safety of the Seahawks, is in my Podium of Shame. After the Cowboys game, this man goes and gets the coach of the other team, Jason Garrett, the coach of the Cowboys, and tells him, when the Seahawks are done with me, please sign me. I want to play for this team so bad. And even says it in the press conference and repeats it. And I'm just like, it's almost like the Seattle Seahawks are like the most successful group of people that don't like each other. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's always something. I remember when Marshawn Lynch was ready to fight because Percy Harvin got traded and he didn't want to come off the bus. I mean, it's all like, it's just every year there's always something with this team, and somehow they're still successful because they're just that good. There's players that didn't like Russell Wilson. It was almost a mutiny. They didn't want him to be the quarterback. And now you have your star of your defense. Earl Thomas is amazing. Asking another team to sign him during the season where you still have a chance to make the playoffs and make a Super Bowl run. It was crazy.
That might be tampering too.
Like it has to be, and it's like me being at the dinner table and one of my dad's friends comes over and I'm like, look, nigga, please be my dad, please, right in front of my dad, like he might not show it, but Willie Abston would be hurt by that if I'm telling another nigga, please be my father. Like it's just you don't do that, and I mean, there's literally a picture of Earl Thomas in his Seahawks jersey with his arm around Jason Garrett, begging him to sign him. And I don't like the image of a black dude begging a white man for anything. I'm sorry. It triggered me a little bit.
Especially Jason Garrett. He could be fired.
Right. What does Jason Garrett have to offer you, bro?
My favorite thing Jason Garrett will do, regardless of its good or bad outcome, he will clap. So if the guy misses the field goal, great job. Like, what are you clapping for? But
Jason Garrett's one of the worst coaches. But I tell you what, Jason Garrett's gonna keep that job because Jerry Jones can make decisions through him and own him. So.
That is very true.
New guy is
and
not
you know
coming
what? That ties in perfectly to my Podium of Shame this week, which happens to be Jerry Jones, who has been on the podium of shame more times than anybody but Roger
He's been on
Goodell.
Podium of Shame like 8 times.
Yeah, we've had 10 episodes. He's been on like 8
He's a
times.
shameful man.
At this time, Des Bryant, there's a conversation around him that he should take a pay cut because at the moment he is currently underperforming under his contract.
21 straight games under 100 yards.
And I do understand that, but they're not saying the next time that they give him a contract, maybe they would have less. They're saying on the contract that the Cowboys signed that we want to renegotiate it because you're not bringing it to the table. And the funny thing is, the NFL owners, anytime that a player underperforms the contract, they're cut.
Yeah.
And that's it, and they're released. Look at what happened to James Harrison just the other day. And people are saying to him, "Oh, he shouldn't have given intel to the Patriots."
The Patriots about to know that whole Pittsburgh playbook.
Well, it's like it's the Steelers. Guess what? Maybe you shouldn't have cut him. Maybe you shouldn't have cost him his job.
Bill Belichick is a mastermind.
And the same thing with Des Bryant. They're saying he needs to take a pay cut. When it's ironic, this is the exact same team that did, and with the exact same owner that did not learn this lesson when Emmitt Smith held out on his contract because he felt he had outperformed his contract. The Cowboys would not negotiate and said, that was the contract you signed. Then Emmitt Smith held out. They lost their first 2 games, and they crawled back to Emmitt Smith and said, "Please, Emmitt, please play for us. We'll pay you whatever you want." And Jerry Jones, I think he quickly forgets how hypocritical he is. I mean, he does it with... He's making me he almost made me feel sorry for Roger Goodell with the hypocrisy over the Ezekiel Elliott stuff. And I hate Roger Goodell. And so it just goes to show you how hypocritical he is. And Des Bryant, do not negotiate a cent of that money away. They signed it. It's their fault. And guess what? At any other time, they would cut you if you were in less position. But they don't want to cut you because you're still valuable to them.
Exactly.
So
hey, come down to New Orleans, Des. We ain't never had a receiver. There are so
many teams that would love to have a quarterback like him. And guess what? Des Bryant's stats. Do you want to know why they were affected? Because your dumbass said to Ezekiel Elliott, let's continue it the whole season instead of taking the first 6 games off and then having the next 10 games where you have a consistent team. Having Ezekiel in and out of the offense was absolutely what led to the demise of Des Bryant's stats. I don't think he's any less of a player than he was last year, but it's like if your team tanks and then you tell the team you have to take less now. It's like, well, we had 1 bad year. This is ridiculous. So Jerry Jones, you have enough money. You should use some of that money to have facial reconstructive surgery so your eyes don't get so wide set. Your eyes are trying to escape from your head. But seriously, Des Bryant, please, don't negotiate any of your money. But anyways, let's organize the Podium of Shame. This is a really hotly contested one. Who's gonna get the gold of the Podium of Shame this week?
I gotta say Earl Thomas. That's the most embarrassing thing I've seen on TV since Girls on HBO by Lena Dunham. So
I think you're making a way bigger deal out of it than you can't be pandering for no job. Especially under contract with a different team, it looks really bad as a teammate. But compared to Ron Rivera,
he said Richardson on 3.
Yeah. No, Richardson is the goal.
Richardson on 3. Get out of here.
Ron Rivera gets the
There ain't
gold.
no way
Ron Rivera gets the gold,
Yeah,
and you know
he's number
what?
1.
And this is the season ending. This is our 10th episode of the Podium, essentially.
Yeah.
I think out of the first 10 episodes, that might be the most Podium of Shame thing I've ever heard. That was so funny to me, how just naive and incompetent, and just how that was.
Richardson on 3. I can't believe it. Wow.
It's like basically saying direct deposit on 3.
Right.
That's all you care about,
Right.
That's hilarious.
So
Richardson
number 1.
Earl and Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, Jerry's been on the podium so much. He needs to have a bronze to go with all his golds and silvers.
Right.
You know, but yeah, we've organized it. You know, this has been 10 episodes.
10 episodes in, man.
I remember when all of us were talking and we said we wanted to have a sports show.
Yeah.
We all just really love sports. We don't really even do research for the show. We just naturally know all this stuff because we love sports. We just always watch it.
Yeah.
There's no research. We just live our lives. And so doing this show is like breathing, but it is so much fun to do with you guys. Every week I learn something from you guys. You guys challenge me, and you guys, it's always funny as hell and really interesting.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you guys. This has been fun as hell to have my own sports show.
Hell yeah.
Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted this, man.
Hey, we got it. It's Podium, baby.
Thank you to Russell. Hopefully
It's been a lot of fun.
Hopefully one day he'll turn into the new Michael Wilbon.
Right.
You know, and then
Throw me a bone. I don't know.
yeah, you need one apparently. Trying to get every job.
Jimmy G. Hey, I got a LinkedIn, my nigga. I got a cover letter out this world, dog. I will come and protect those condoms. You about to get that bag.
Oh my god. Yeah, and related note.
Goofy, bro. Tell me how that goes. Stay in school.
Related note: if any NFL or NBA players need their weed transported by a white guy, I'm your guy. If you're gonna go with your weed, you're gonna get arrested. But Eric will keep you in the season and high.
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson, his car they found weed and bullets in it or something like that.
If Eric Abbenante had been drawing, guess what they would have said? They would have said, "Hey, are you lost? Let me help you on the way to your hotel." And then they would help me smoke some weed, and it would have been great. And that's white privilege. And what I'm saying is, I can offer my white privilege as a service to you. Please let me be your weed
for a small fee.
For you, a deal, but still, you know.
Last thing I'm going to say this week on the podium: PDA to all my children, my kids out there watching. Stay in school, all right?
And actually, really quick.
Don't be a comedian like these two idiots. Like, do something else, man. Like,
really quickly, could you talk about Servants for Hope and the money you guys raised and how that went over Christmas?
Yo, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, first to everybody out there who donated to Servants for Hope, we raised about a ton of gifts for kids in the Inglewood community. It was a really good time. People enjoyed it. The community enjoyed it. The kids loved it. And we had a lot of fun doing it. So thank you guys so much. Thank you to you, Niles, and Eric for being a part of that and allowing me to do that. Sharing that with you guys, I really appreciate it.
No problem.
It was our pleasure. Unlike us, you're actually doing something with your life. You're helping people, not just slinging dick jokes on a stage in front of 6 people.
I don't do dick jokes.
You do plenty of jokes like that. Are you kidding me?
I don't do dick jokes, man. My mom raised a respectful young man.
Yeah.
I don't do dick jokes, Mom. I promise.
Yeah, every other joke, but the word dick apparently will not enter his mouth. You know, he'll protect condoms, but he won't do dick jokes. He'll never do dick jokes. It's a big difference.
Right. Hit me up on LinkedIn.
Anyways, servantsforhope.org. Just because Christmas passed doesn't mean you still can't donate to him. We're going to have the link up right there. We'll have the commercial on right after the end of the episode. You should always donate to them. Just because the holiday season is over doesn't mean that they don't still have needs. So still try to keep them in your memory and keep donating because right after the holidays, it's still tough. The winter is still in the full swing of it.
Right.
They need your donations. So please give your donations. But anyways, thank you guys so much. I love this show. And we will see you next Thursday right back here on the podium.
2018, a new year.
10 episodes, and it's been an honor. Thank you all so much. From Chicago and Hollywood, we will see you in 2018. Thank you guys so much. Happy New Year.
Jimmy G.
Go Donovan Mitchell, I love you.